Christian men, have you heard this before? That chasing financial success is worldly. That wanting to build wealth means you're not focused on God. That if your business is growing fast, if money's coming in, if you're getting momentum, then you're probably too focused on the world. They say real Christians don't care about money. That you should be content with what you have, which is probably little. And if you want more, if you're craving more, then that's considered greed. That mindset, that guilt, it's not from God. It's a lie, and it's a dangerous lie that's affecting millions of men today. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly where it came from, why it's happening, and how to put a stake right through its heart. Most guys don't even realize they're carrying this mindset. They don't question it, they don't even try to challenge it because it comes wrapped in spiritual language. Spiritual language like be content, don't be greedy, money can't buy salvation. And yes, that is true, but contentment isn't complacency, and greed isn't the same as growing. Just because money can't save your soul doesn't mean it's worthless in the hands of someone who's being saved. This lie is specifically making Christian men afraid to win, and it's done on purpose. It's making them afraid to step into leadership. It's making them afraid to scale. So what do? They'll shrink, they're gonna hide, they're gonna cower it out, and they're gonna convince themselves that staying small is staying holy. And the people dealing with this, they're gonna try to call it humility, but really it's fear in disguise. And what does the Bible say about fear? I think we all know that. Speaking of the Bible, let's open the Word. I'm gonna go to 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of money. It's not about having it, guys. It's about being owned by it. Here's the irony of it. The men who fear becoming rich are usually the ones who idolize it. They're thinking about money all the time, right? They don't have it, and they're acting in a state of survival. Another verse that I want to go to is Deuteronomy 8:18. It says, "It is the Lord your God who gives you the power to produce wealth." Not to hoard it, not to flex it, but to kind of steward it in a sense. So God gives you the power to create wealth, and we reject it in the name of righteousness. That's what's happening in modern day. And if we go to Proverbs 10:22, it states, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, and he adds no sorrow to it." So wealth, when it's aligned with God's will, is a blessing. But again, it's about stewardship. If God can't trust you with money, he cannot trust you with influence, right? We talked about God, let's talk about Satan and the way Satan operates. So Satan intrinsically doesn't care if you're saved, if you're broke. So essentially, if he can keep you broke, then he doesn't care that you're being saved. Because broke men don't build, broke men don't lead, they don't challenge modern culture, which is a big thing, and broke men don't stand up and take their territory for the kingdom. And as I said earlier, they're in a state of survival. They're in a state of retreat and cowardice. You can't fund missions from a place of fear. You can't lead a family of strength if your mind is drowning in bills. You can't impact the world for Christ if you're stuck in a financial paralysis. So the devil doesn't have to destroy you. He needs to distract you with lack. If we look at scripture, Abraham was wealthy, Solomon was the richest man to ever live, and Job, he lost everything, and then God gave him back double of what he had before. Even the man who buried Jesus, Joseph of Arimathea, was a rich man with influence. He used that influence for righteousness. And the early church was supported by business people, businesswomen like Lydia, by people who understood that wealth is a weapon in the hands of the righteous. So if we look in scripture, Jesus wasn't teaching poverty, he wasn't teaching surrender. He was teaching, he wasn't against money, he was against replacing God with money. When God created Adam, he didn't say, stay safe or cowered out. He said, be fruitful. He said, multiply. And he said, subdue the earth. That is the finest presentation of dominion, of masculinity, of building. And as a man watching this video today, it's in your DNA as someone who's created in the image of God to provide and to establish legacy here on earth. Modern day religion is telling you to be quiet. It's telling you to not stand out. It's telling you to suppress that fire within you to build. And that's why if you look in a modern day church, most of the leaders are passive. In essence, not even leaders. Because no one told them you can be on fire for God and still build a 7-figure company. You can run ads, you can close deals, you can serve clients and fund missionaries in the same week. Now when I say churches are empty of real leaders, that is not just by proxy of not having financial freedom, not actually having lots of money. I'm saying it's a reason for the increased level of passive men in today's age. So now that you have this information, what do? What you can start with is stop apologizing. You can start building. You can start learning the skills, and you can start thinking like a kingdom man. You need to stop confusing guilt with conviction, right? You stop letting Baroque theology dictate your business decisions. So to summarize, if you want to master your reality as a man, you need to surrender it to Christ. You need to build, you need to multiply, and you need to take territory. But this territory is not for your name, it's for his name. Because when God finds a man who can steward wealth, he gives him more responsibility, he'll give him more reach, and he'll give him more legacy. So stop dreaming small, stop not taking action in your day-to-day of stuff that you know that you have to do, but you're not doing it just because you have a righteous gift wrap around it. Remember to master your reality through Christ.